Oi, takutlah kita nak lintas jalan raya kat Malaysia ni. Macam kereta tu kejar kita pula. Walaupun ada zebra crossing, tak ada siapa mau berhenti, tahu tak? Hai semua, selamat datang ke Balas Klasik. Terima kasih datang ke channel saya dan semoga semua sihat-sihat ya pada hari ini. Jadi ada 14 perkara yang gentleman dari Germany ni nak bagi tahu kita. Sebab ada 14 tu, saya dah siap tulis. Takut lupa banyak sangat yang dia nak bagi tahu kita. Okey, jom kita tengok 7 yang pertama tu ya. Number first tu ialah, dia kata kalau nak seberang jalan dekat Malaysia ni, walaupun ada zebra crossing, takut juga sebab kadang-kadang kereta tak berhenti. Jadi dia kata tunjuk tangan. Tunjuk tangan itu pun belum pasti kereta akan berhenti. Tapi dia kata ada kereta yang akan lagi laju bila tengok orang nak nyeberang jalan. Betul ke macam ni? Tapi mungkinlah, saya pun tak tahu. Okey, yang nombor 2, dia kata dia nampak motor, banyak motor kan kat Malaysia. Dia orang ada dekat lampu isyarat. Mereka akan berhenti untuk tunggu lampu hijau, sambil tu mereka sembang-sembang. Tapi mereka tak kenal antara satu sama lain. Tapi mereka bersembang. Itu yang beliau rasa heran lah di Malaysia sebab di Germany tak ada macam tu katanya. Nombor 3, dia kata kenapa orang yang motor ni suka pakai jaket ikut depan tutup macam ni? Dia sampai hari ni dia belum tahu dia punya sebab. Kalau ada orang yang tengok channel ni dan pakai motor dan pakai jaket macam tu, tolong bagi tahulah ya. Terima kasih. Yang nombor 4, dia kata, ni, satu keluarga naik motor. Macam katakanlah ada bapa, ibu, kalau ada anak satu ataupun dua, 4 orang tu naik motor yang dia rasa takut dan risau. Dan dia kata dia rasa geli. Apa rasa geli pula? Mungkin geli tu dia tak reti pakai kot. Perkataan geli tu tak apalah, kita maafkan dia ya. Di Germany ni, walaupun kalau trafik sesak, kereta tu akan ikut aja. Bukan macam dekat Malaysia. Kalau trafik macam katakan dekat highway tu, kalau dia dah macam jam, orang akan signal terus. Masuk kiri, masuk kanan, masuk kiri, masuk kanan. Kononnya, lorong yang dia masuk tu cepat. Lepas dah masuk sana, masuk lorong lagi satu pula. Dia rasa lorong tu pula cepat. Hai, semua buat macam tu. Termasuk suami saya sendiri buat macam tu. Macamlah nak sampai 1 jam awal.
Malaysia is special, and it's the people who makes this country so special, and the habits. And in this video, I'm going to show you 8, 9, 10, 15 different habits that surprised me when I came here to Malaysia initially, until I fall in love with them. So let's get started right away with my all-time favorite, traffic. When I came to Malaysia from Germany, I was so used to the fact that cars would stop if they would see me waiting at a road, especially waiting at a zebra crossing. No such thing in Malaysia. Crossing a street here in Malaysia can feel like a car is chasing you down. I felt like being chased down. I was in the middle of the road sometimes and I felt like the car is even accelerating just seeing me crossing the street. And I ran for my life. There's one thing that I needed to learn from the Malaysian, and you as a Malaysian most likely know what I'm talking about. It is the magic hand. The hand stretching out at the road, stretching out while waiting at a zebra crossing, kind of commanding the cars to stop. Will they stop? Well, not always. Is it more likely they stop? Well, it is. It is definitely safer for my life. So if you want to cross the street, if you want to cross a zebra crossing, make it a habit to stretch out your hand and hope a car will stop for you. Number 2, I was amazed by the number of motorcycles crisscrossing the streets here in Malaysia. I rode a motorcycle in Germany, a big one. Initially in Malaysia I also rode a motorcycle, but I gave it up very quickly. I felt too dangerous. And it still is, and the number of motorcycles have increased of course, but there's one thing that amazes me. It's when motorcyclists wait in front of the cars for the traffic light to turn green and they just keep talking to each other. I don't believe they know each other. It's just the normal friendliness of Malaysia that people start talking to each other while they're waiting somewhere. It's just wonderful. But it's very unique, I believe. Number 3, now something I'm asking you to help me. Why do motorcyclists wear a jacket in front? It still astonishes me. I have no idea why this is the case. Is it to protect them from the sunshine? Is it because the dust is there? Is it easier to take off and take on again? I don't know. I still don't know. I can't remember as well if I ever asked any of my friends. So I'm asking you here right now. Comment below below if you have any idea, if you can help me out here in understanding why do motorcyclists wear the motorcycle jacket from the front. Number 4, it's about carrying the whole family on a motorcycle. It's not that often the case here in Kuala Lumpur, but when I see it, I'm scared. It's a father and the mother and 1 or 2 children sitting on a motorcycle, holding dearly to each other.
I don't know what you mean by it. I'm scared it's a father and a mother and one sitting on a motorcycle holding brother. How about a web search for it?
Here is Siri even asking me about this point that I just made, and it is so incredible funny. When I see the family, it gives me the gully feeling inside me. Please, if you are one of those who are riding the motorcycle with more than 2 people, take care while you ride. Next point is cars zigzagging all the time on the roads. Coming from Germany, most of the time, cars are lining up when there is a traffic jam. It's kind of procedural, you don't jump across to the other lane. In Malaysia, the moment there is a lane going slower than the others, instantly you see indicators coming up. The cars want to move out from their lane onto the next lane that seem to move faster. It's psychological, of course. It's the feeling like, hey, they move faster, I gotta be there. It's like the grass is greener on the other side. My wife told me I adapted quite well to this one as well, that I can zigzag, and I think I do. The next point I want to point out, and it's lesser nowadays than it was at the time when I came. No walking in Malaysia. Gosh, it was so strange. But what happened is that my friends drove their car if the next destination was just about 200, 300, 400 meters away. And I thought like, why don't we walk to that place? And they looked at me, ayo, Jaula, we have to walk back anyway to the car, so why not going the 200 meters? There's a parking spot just over there. All of us jumped back into the car and just drove for 200 meters, 300 meters, 400 meters. Got out of the car and ended the next place where we wanted to go to. It's less happening today because of the lack of parking in Malaysia, but it's just a memory I have that's...
Orang Malaysia makan nasi, dia dah nasi, dia kubur daging, ayam, ikan. Lepas tu atas tu tambah lagi kari ikan, kari dal, kari ayam, kari daging. Makan penuh-penuh macam tu katanya. Jadi benda ni jadi heran lah pada dia pasal kat Germany tu dia kata kalau dia orang satu hari tu makan daging, hari tu daging aja. Keesokan kalau ayam macam tu lah dia kata. Tapi saya rasa kalau kita masak kat rumah tak ada macam tu. Kalau kita makan dekat luar lah, especially kat kedai mamak tu, itulah kita ngada-ngada semua kita nak makan tu kan. Makanan kat sini semua dah sejuk katanya, especially lah dekat kedai mamak. Betul lah nasi masih panas tapi lauk-lauk akan sejuk dah sebab mamak kan dia kena bangun awal pagi tak tahu pukul berapa dia nak masak. Tapi kalau nak suruh dia panaskan, dia akan panaskan. Dia heran pula kenapa kita punya toilet ni, ketandas kat Malaysia ni ada air. Mestilah orang Asia kan suka pakai air. Dia kata lantai ada air, dalam tandas ada air. Macam mana ni dia tak faham langsung. Lepas tu dia kata lagi satu tu ada blower. Blower tu untuk apa dia kata? Blower tu kan dia akan tiup angin tu kan. Keluarkan bau, macam kalau ada bau busuk dia halau angin tu keluar. Patutlah kalau pergi mall tu selalu kena sakit, kena demam sebab bakteria semua dia halau masuk mall. Agaknya lah.
Let's move on to the food. My favorite food is Malaysian food. Malaysian food is the best. But coming from Germany, when I came here, I was in for a couple of surprises. One thing is that I thought like Malaysians eat all the time and it's rice, rice, rice. Morning, lunch, evening, and maybe even supper. I worked in the EPU, in the Prime Minister's department, and we had lunch in the canteen of Bank Negara. And I saw the same Malaysians eating all the time. And I thought like, wow, it's amazing. How can you all stay so slim? It's fantastic. Now I thought coming here, I wanted to eat rice as well, cooking it by myself initially. So I went to the supermarket and looking for that one package of rice for one person to cook. It didn't exist, of course. And I was looking up and down the aisles, couldn't find it at all, until I realized that the smallest package available in Malaysia is at least 10, 15 or 20 kilos. Not a single person package. So I was in for a surprise as well, because I looked at that big bag and I thought like, this kind of bag will take me 20 years to complete. That was before I also started to eat rice all day long. The next point related to food is everything campur, mixed up together onto one plate. It's happening more when I go to the mamak stalls. And even I take sometimes the beef or the chicken or the fish onto one plate. It doesn't happen like this in Germany. You have beef today and chicken tomorrow and fish the third day. But you don't put it all together onto one plate. Here in Malaysia, it's happening. And next to it, related to it, are the curries. Fish curry, chicken curry, the dal, and any other curry available. And all of it onto the food, into the rice. Flavors exploding in the mouth. Coming from Germany, when I arrived here, I initially thought like, how is that possible? Mixing it all together, not realizing that's the magic. Next point, related to food still, is the cold food. In Germany, food is warm, and I expected it to be warm. But if I go to the mamak stall, it was a shock. The vegetables or the meat, cold. That was something I had to get used to. But after that many years being here in Malaysia, it became normal for me, I don't care. But it was strange initially. Moving on from the food, living in the condominium, washing dishes in Malaysia. That has only cold water at the sink in the pantry of Malaysian households. So you're putting the soap onto a little sponge and you're washing the dishes under running and cold water. Somehow it feels strange. I wasn't used to that coming from Germany, because in Germany at least you got hot water running at the sink in the kitchen. So it still feels a bit strange to me that I have to wash the dishes under running water, because I am still not sure if that's not a huge waste of water overall. What do you think watching that video here? Also, of course, that dishwashers are not so common here in Malaysia, while they are more common nowadays in Germany. Malaysian toilets in public places were, and some still are, not known for their cleanliness. It's highly likely that the floor is wet, water from the usage of the bidet. As a tourist, you're most likely not used to seeing water on the floor, seeing water on the toilet seat, because the person before you use the bidet. It is something I had to get used to when I came to Malaysia. Of course, I wish the toilets were dry. What can you do? It's something to clench your teeth and just get over it and have a smile and just use the toilet to the best way possible. But also what is interesting to see in the toilets in Malaysia are the air blowers. Not sure if the female toilets got air blowers as well, but the male toilets for sure, many of them have air blowers, blowing the air out of the toilets. Why that's the case? Well, because it's smelly, but it's something that you might not necessarily see in other parts of the world. Quite an interesting adventure to visit a toilet in Malaysia. All the things I've mentioned here right now are adorable. I love them, and I believe there could be more that I could share. But I love Malaysia for its uniqueness, and I still learn about different approaches to culture here in Malaysia even after so many years. It's a never-ending journey, and it's delightful. So traffic, food, interacting with different people, I personally learned to appreciate the Malaysian culture, the Malaysian uniqueness, making Malaysia a place that I can call my home. And
apa-apa pun setelah beliau masuk Malaysia dah sekian lama, tak tahu berapa tahun dah, beliau pun dah belajarlah budaya orang Malaysia dan mempelajarilah daripada orang Malaysia kenapa di Malaysia ni budaya ni lain sikit, yang memanglah betul kan, lain negara lain lah dia punya budaya. Macam dulu-dulu lah kan orang kata when you in Rome, do what the Romans do. Okey, lagi satu perkara yang saya nak bagi tahulah ya. Ada komen yang saya baca tu yang mengatakan macam ni, "Woi, aunty, tak payahlah aunty nak pergi nak translate macam lah kita ni tak faham bahasa Inggeris." Bukan macam tu, sebab kita ni buat video reaksi kan, reaction video ni. YouTube ni dia ada kriteria. Kita kenalah ada perubahan sikit dan kita kena juga buat translation lah. Terima kasih sekali lagi datang ke Walas Klasik, dan kepada subscriber channel ini saya ucapkan terima kasih dan haraplah semua sihat-sihat selalu ya. Yang tak berapa sihat tu jaga badan, jaga diri ya, minum air banyak-banyak sebab cuaca pun sangat panas. Walaupun kita tengok mendung-mendung aja tapi tahap humid tu sangat tinggi ya. Okey, terima kasih, bye-bye. Kita jumpa lagi.